Imagine, for a moment, the most impossible image in the history of Westeros. A dragon, born not in the heat of the Dothraki Sea, but in the freezing shadow of the Wall. In the original timeline, House Targaryen rose from the ashes in the east with Daenerys. Jon Snow, the hidden prince, fought his battles with steel and grit, unaware of the fire in his blood until the very end. But what if that dormant power woke up sooner? What if the magic of the old gods and the heritage of Valyria collided in the haunted forests of the north? If Jon Snow hatched a dragon at Castle Black, the Game of Thrones wouldn't just change, it would end. The War of the Five Kings becomes irrelevant the moment a bastard boy in black commands the ultimate weapon. Tywin Lannister's schemes, Joffrey's cruelty, and Stannis' claim all wither before the reality of nuclear fire. Today, we enter a timeline of ice and fire in its truest sense. We are going to explore how the egg got there, the chaos of its hatching, and how a dragon of the Night's Watch conquers the North. Welcome to the timeline where the White Wolf has wings. To make this timeline work, we don't need magic to fall from the sky. We simply need to look at the man who has been hiding in plain sight, Maester Aemon. In our story, Aemon Targaryen didn't leave his family's legacy entirely behind when he took the Black. Decades ago, after the tragedy at Summerhall, the fire that killed his brother, King Aegon V, Aemon salvaged one single calcified dragon egg from the ruins. It was small, white as bone, and cold as death. He brought it to the Wall not to hatch it, but as a tombstone for his house, a reminder of the hubris of dragons. Fast forward to Season 1, Jon Snow arrives at the Wall. Aemon, blind but deeply intuitive, senses something in the boy. He hears the melancholy in his voice that reminds him of Rhaegar. He feels the heat that seems to radiate from the boy when he is angry. One night, sensing his own frailty, Aemon calls Jon to his chambers. He gives him the stone. He doesn't call it an egg. He calls it a relic of the South, a test of responsibility. Jon takes it, drawn to it by a pull he cannot explain. He keeps it near his hearth, and for the first time in a century, the stone begins to stay warm. The divergence point happens the night the dead come to Castle Black. Just as in canon, the corpses of Author and Jafer Flowers rise in the dead of night. Jon hears Ghost barking and rushes to Lord Commander Mormont's tower. He fights the White, steel clashing uselessly against dead flesh. Jon grabs the lantern from Mormont's hand and smashes it against the creature. The oil ignites, the drapes catch fire, the room turns into an inferno. But here is where history breaks. The dragon egg is on the table, resting near the heat. As the White screams and burns, the magical ice animating it clashes violently with the fire. This collision of opposing magics, ice and fire, acts as a catalyst. Jon, in his desperation, shoves the burning White backward, his hands engulfed in flames. The fire roars, consuming the room. When the Night's Watch brothers finally kick down the door with buckets of water, they stop dead in their tracks. The Lord Commander is coughing on the floor, singed and battered. The White is ash. And amidst the smoking ruin stands Jon Snow. His clothes are scorched, his hands blackened with soot but unburned, and coiled around his arm, hissing at the intruders, is a creature the size of a hawk. Its scales are white as the snow beyond the Wall, its eyes red as the weirwood trees.
A dragon has been born to the Night's Watch. The aftermath is chaos. Alliser Thorne immediately demands Jon's execution. He calls the beast a demon, a curse that will bring doom upon them all. The boy is a warg and a sorcerer, he shouts in the mess hall. But Jeor Mormont silences him. Mormont is a pragmatist. He has seen the dead walk. He knows the White Walkers are returning. He looks at the small dragon, now named Winter, and he doesn't see a curse, he sees a flamethrower. Mormont makes a command decision that changes the culture of the Watch. The dragon is a brother of the Night's Watch. As the dragon grows, fueled by the ambient magic of the wall, Jon's status shifts. He is no longer the sullen steward, he is the Dragon Lord of the Wall. The men fear him, yes, but they also look at him with awe. For the first time, they feel safe. News travels. It starts as a whisper in Molestown, then a rumor in Winterfell. The Bastard of Winterfell rides a demon. In King's Landing, Varys receives a little bird scroll. His face goes pale. He tells the small council, but Cersei laughs it off. A grumpkin and a snark, she mocks. Tywin Lannister, however, does not laugh. He sends spies north. He knows that dragons do not just happen. The Great Ranging leads out, but this time the dynamic is different. Jon does not march in the back. He rides near the front with Winter, now the size of a large dog, perched on a supply wagon or gliding on the thermals above. When they reach Craster's Keep, Craster is terrified. He refuses to let Jon or the beast near his home. He knows what dragons are. The stories have been passed down by the free folk for millennia. But the true test comes at the fist of the first men. When the army of the dead attacks, it is usually a slaughter. In the original timeline, the Watch is overrun by sheer numbers. Here, the Whites swarm the hill and meet a wall of fire. Winter is young, he cannot burn an army, but he creates a perimeter of terror. The Whites are instinctively afraid of the creature. Jon Snow, wielding Longclaw in one hand and commanding fire with the other, holds the line. The Watch still suffers heavy losses, but they are not routed. They retreat in order, protected by a rearguard of dragonfire. Samwell Tarly doesn't just kill a White Walker with dragonglass, he watches as Winter descends on one, bathing a walker in flame. We learn a terrifying truth. White Walkers are not immune to dragonfire. They shatter like glass under the heat. The Wildling army reaches the wall. Mance Rayder has 100,000 men. He lights the greatest fire the North has ever seen. He expects to negotiate from a position of power. But then, the gate of Castle Black opens. Jon Snow rides out alone. By now, Winter has grown rapidly, as dragons do in times of war. He is the size of a horse, his wingspan casting a shadow over the negotiation parley. Mance Rayder looks at the dragon, then at his own army of wooden shields and fur. He realizes instantly that the war is lost. Giants can break gates, but they cannot fight air support. Jon gives Mance an ultimatum. Bend the knee to the Watch, and we will protect you from the Walkers. Fight, and you burn. It is a tense standoff. Tormund Giantsbane laughs. I always knew you were prettier than you looked, Crow. The wildlings, terrified of the beast, surrender. Jon Snow has just united the Free Folk and the Night's Watch without a massacre. But the victory is short-lived because the Southern King arrives. Stannis Baratheon's cavalry charges in to save the wall, only to find the battle already won. He rides into Castle Black expecting gratitude. Instead, he finds a young man standing next to a living dragon. The tension in the courtyard is palpable. Stannis brines his teeth. He demands Jon's fealty. I am your king, Stannis declares. But Melisandre steps forward. She stares at Jon, at the steam rising from his cloak, at the white dragon nuzzling his hand, at the sword Longclaw. The fires of her vision clear instantly. She realizes she has been wrong about Dragonstone. She has been wrong about Stannis. You, she whispers, pointing a trembling finger at Jon, the prince that was promised. Stannis draws his sword, seeing the threat. The Night's Watch draws theirs to protect their brother. Winter opens his maw, a glow building in his throat. This is a world where Jon Snow is not just a bastard, but a power that rivals the Iron Throne. How would Tywin Lannister deal with a dragon in the north? Would Daenerys still conquer Slaver's Bay knowing she isn't the last dragon? If you want to see part 2, where Jon marches south to meet Robb Stark, hit that like button and subscribe. The Dragon of the North has only just begun to fly.